wise to learn forefoot running on a treadmill? The short answer is no, and let me make the case as to why learning a new running technique such as forefoot strike running on a treadmill might actually be risky business that could potentially carry injurious implications, and why overground running may be a stronger pillar that may allow you to implement better balance control. Research has consistently found that running on a treadmill may actually alter balance, especially if the runner has weak hip adductors and hip flexors, which may collectively compromise balance control during treadmill running, as strength deficits in the hips may cause you to be incapable of in keeping with steady, stable footfalls while running on the moving belt of a treadmill, whereas running over ground seems to spread more stability, potentially helping you maximize your mechanical effectiveness when you run over ground. The overall thrust of some of the evidence has hinted that treadmill running may bring about an even more exhaustive supply of mechanical instabilities. For instance, researchers have tended to consider that running on a treadmill might result in unfavorable, counterproductive movement patterns that may feed more stress up the leg. You may, for example, accidentally, consistently misplace your forefoot strike landing. You may repeatedly misalign your lower leg at touchdown, which may cause you to potentially run with more opposing forces during treadmill running versus over ground running. This is especially true if you have muscle strength imbalances, particularly at the hips. From here, it's not really surprising news that the moving belt of a treadmill may not be the most stable, secure platform for a beginner forefoot runner to build their new forefoot running biomechanics on, and could glacially slow progress, as you may be at a higher risk of injury. Now, in that regard, some runners have weak hips, weak calves, weak ankles, or weak foot muscles, whereby such muscle strength imbalances or muscle strength deficits may intensify balance instabilities, which may correspond with an increased risk of injury during treadmill running, especially for newbie runners with unconditioned muscles. Moreover, other research has echoed similar findings, such that if the runner tends to over or underpronate during running, which just means that the back of the foot or the heel undergoes very excessive back and forth motions when the foot strikes the ground, and these heel motions continue throughout the stance phase of running. Now, these runners may get more mechanical clashes if they run on a treadmill, because the potential balance disruptions during treadmill running may compound the potentially injurious effects of over or underpronating. It's important to note that overpronation or underpronation are both strongly linked to many common running related injuries, and over or underpronation during treadmill running could place yet another stressor on the body that's already challenged by the potentially destabilizing effects of treadmill running. Again, this is pertaining to new and inexperienced runners, particularly with muscle strength imbalances. Now, on the flip side, if you are a seasoned runner and you have great biomechanics, then the treadmill may certainly not prompt the same mechanical disruptions as it may for a new runner who has strength deficits. However, the trouble is many studies support the connection between long-term treadmill running and injury. A reflection of this evidence comes from an example at the anecdotal level. Elite marathoner Shalane Flanagan sadly withdrew from the Boston Marathon 2017 due to a serious back injury, which was reportedly blamed on long distance running on tricky, uneven, snowy, icy, slushy terrain. But an even bigger part of the blame of her back injury was pinpointed on excessive treadmill running. This specific piece of evidence may further tighten the link between treadmill running and increased injury risk. If an elite runner can get injured while running on a treadmill, so can an inexperienced runner, which may suggest that treadmill running may potentially set the conditions where your capacity to sustain sturdy, strong landing stability and optimal balance control may be diminished. This is one of the reasons for those learning how to run and learning forefoot running or learning barefoot running should really commit yourself to running outdoors, especially as running on a treadmill may further add to the challenge of learning a new running style and may not be a strategic asset in helping you be better able to prevent injury. Now, to create a safer, more efficient learning environment and to avoid any repetitive balance irritations when learning a new running condition like forefoot running or like barefoot running, to be on the safe side and help avoid the fate of getting injured, running over ground may be more effective at making you more mechanically responsive, as the natural cues on the overground surface may enable your biomechanics to remain unchallenged, as it may be harder to slip into risky biomechanics when you run over ground versus running on a treadmill, especially if you have weak hips. Not to mention, it certainly helps that running over ground is really part of our innate system as humans. Humans didn't evolve to run on a treadmill, and that is really the bottom line. With the help of external feedback from running on a natural surface, you may gain access to better balance stability and enhanced balance control as compared to treadmill running because of our innate connection with running over natural surfaces. Running over ground should be the pursuit for learning a new running style, as doing so may be a less riskier course than running on a treadmill. When you run on the ground, it may put in motion less physically vulnerable mechanics. You may be more mechanically vigilant, and your chances of injury might dramatically shrink as compared to running on a treadmill. So there's a lot of good reason to learn proper running mechanics over the ground versus running on a treadmill, especially when it comes to getting your forefoot strike landing pattern under control. You may engage at a very high level in a more straightforward way if you learn forefoot running over ground. Now, I linked down below in the description box some of the key research articles I came across which have found evidence in favor of running over ground versus running on a treadmill. To stay up to date on all the latest research regarding the proper biomechanics of running, as well as the health and performance benefits of barefoot running and minimalist running, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have fun out there on the roads and trails. Bye for now.